get a notification in a minute.
So it's been a while since we've done this, hasn't it, Joe? What, 4 years?
I know, I'm a bit nervous really.
Are you?
Well, yeah, because when we did it 4 years ago, it was in lockdown, and we didn't have, now we've got technology. We didn't have any things before.
We didn't. We ruined the house a little bit.
Well, you hit the ball and hit the lampshade.
And the piano.
And then hit the piano as well. I know, yeah. So let's see if it's all working.
Brilliant. Let's hopefully it's going to kick in a second. Okay, so this is our first live Q&A for quite some time, and we wanted to talk about 3 different parts to enable you to play some really good golf. So we're looking at how you can gain back some of that lost distance. Consistency is always a big thing that people message us with, and something that we are very keen on helping golfers with is bad backs. So it's a real issue for a huge amount of golfers. Is it 21 million
21,
golfers?
yeah, 21 million golfers at any one time are out injured.
Injured, yeah.
We don't want that happening to you.
We definitely don't want that to you. Bob McIntyre, who's a fabulous left-handed golfer from Scotland, he's out with the bad back, and maybe we can shed some light on that and help people play without injuring their back. So some really important things that we need to cover. We don't know if people are able to see this.
Is there anybody there? Yeah, I mean, I can see us.
So you can see us?
I can see, look, there you are.
Brilliant.
So we are actually live. That's you, that's me, obviously. We're now saying live.
Great.
So at some point, we should start seeing some comments.
So give us a quick wave if you're online, and if you've got any questions, Joe's going to keep an eye on everything, and we'll see what we can help you guys with. So I think the first thing that we need to talk about, which is always high up on YouTube, is distance and gaining back some of that lost distance. Any thoughts on that, Joe?
Well, I think the thing, like a lot of people are talking about senior golfers now, aren't they, and easier swing and all that sort of stuff. So we've been doing this since 2015. So there's a lot more to it than just adapting your swing. Okay,
yes,
so we're putting a lot of stuff out recently about how your body's changing. Like things like your muscles get shorter, they get tighter, your body chemistry changes. So it's really important to know what's going on underneath rather than just adapting your swing, because as Julian says, there's 21 million golfers out at any one time with injuries. And the other scary statistic is, if you're a senior golfer, especially over 65, you're in the highest group of golfers that are going to end up in hospital. So
okay, that's a scary number, isn't it?
So it's worrying stuff, really. But
definitely. So let's think about a way that we can gain back some of that lost distance. Now, if I hold this club really tight, in fact, I'm going to do it this way. So if I let this swing, imagine this is a hinge. So I'm holding this nice and light. Okay, now what happens to that swinging action if I start to grab it really tight? The club head stops swinging. So one of the most important things that we all need to be aware of is how hard and how tight we're holding that golf club. So we talk about trying to swing the golf club tension free, but here's a really cool way to check the right amount of tension. So what you do is you stand up nice and tall with the club in your hand and just let it drop through your hands. Now imagine just before it starts to drop through the hands, then lower the club until it's horizontal to the ground. The amount of weight against your hands is now enabling you to gain the right amount of tension. So it shouldn't feel like you're locking up, and it should feel nice and comfortable without losing control. So I know that in the past I've spoke quite a bit about to gain control you have to let go of control, but in my experience, when people start to do that, they'll naturally grab tighter. So if we start to really let go of everything, as soon as you start that backswing, you'll tighten up naturally anyway. So it's something to be mindful of, not grabbing it too tight. So standing nice and tall, just imagine just before it drops through your hands, let it hang from here. That's now the right amount of tension, and that's going to enable your body to move as naturally as possible.
I'm just reading some of the comments, and there are people dialing in. So Peter Trevor, hello. David Grail, hi.
Hi.
Jeff Cloak, where have you been? Richard Vaughan wants to know, how do you get rid of lower back pain during your backswing?
Great.
And then Andy Wayne is saying, hello, lovelies.
Brilliant.
Hello, Andy.
Yeah, we're definitely going to come on to
lovely,
the back pain as we progress. Now, I believe we've got 35 minutes, something like that. So we'll try and get through as much as we possibly can. So first thing is get your body to feel really comfortable. The second thing, we need to gain back some of that lost distance, we need to make sure that your body is moving correctly. So I do this often, at least 100 times a day, but as I'm making my correct posture, turning right and turning left. Now there's a few things happening when we do that, but what a wonderful exercise and what a wonderful way to add some body mass behind the shot. So what we don't want to do is see that body going forwards and then backwards, because now you're not transferring your weight. So just imagine if I did something wrong and if I wanted to throw my club, I would get behind and go forward. I wouldn't go forward and then lean backwards. So it's actually quite a natural way to start to gain back some of that distance. So really enabling your body and practicing that good body movement back and through. That's going to help you gain back some of that lost distance. Now what I want to do is just get my impact bag, because this is quite powerful, isn't it? When
You're
you
going
start to
offset
see
then?
that. We're going offset for just a second.
We're just saying hello to Mike Rogers as well. Hi Mike.
Hi Mike, how you doing?
Across the ocean there.
Wonderful.
Got a global audience on tonight.
Oh, awesome. That's what we like to hear. So I've got my alignment rod here and my impact bag. So Joe doesn't like this bit, it might deafen her. So if we want to gain some of that distance back again, so I'm holding this relatively lightly, definitely not too tight, and we start to tap the bag. So now we're starting to what we call release the club head, and I'm trying to make sure I release it with the end and not the grip. So you see a lot of golfers leading with the grip. There's a lot of talk about what we call shaft lean, and quite often what happens there, we come into impact with the hands in front of that golf ball and the club face wide open. So there is a point where we have to release that golf club. So it's one thing just tapping it with your arm power. Imagine now if we've got good body action, so we're turning to the side and then we're using that energy to strike that golf ball. So we're getting body mass and club head speed working together. That's where we're going to gain back some of that lost distance.
Stop doing that.
It does make you jump, doesn't it?
Sorry about that. What I was going to say was, okay, so we do watch a lot of videos on YouTube. It's really important so we know what's going on out there, right? So I was watching something today and I'm getting confused again by the tips and hints on videos. So you may have seen recently, we said, have you gone down a rabbit hole? And we want to clear that up, okay? Because we get people coming through our door all the time that have been down the YouTube rabbit hole. Only today, a guy rang, he said, I need to come and see you because I've got so confused by looking at all the golf YouTube videos. This is really important to make this point now, while Julian's demonstrating, is all of the things that we talk about hang on to the Christmas tree called the proper golfing method, okay? Absolutely. So it's not just here and there and everywhere, but it's really important to know that because we see so many golfers that are completely confused by going here and going there. And honestly, we had a guy in tears recently because his golf had gone so awry. But all these things, like I say, they're like baubles that hang on a Christmas tree that all make up the proper golfing method. So there's a way of playing golf which all works together. Yeah. So it's like a jigsaw piece. That's what these are, okay?
Yeah, and it all links with all the golf clubs in your bag. So there's points where we do short swings, three-quarter swings, full swings, but it all links up really perfectly. Yeah. So we want to be able to release that club, and it's much easier to gain some club head speed if your body's at ease, not too tight. It's much better to get the body moving well through impact and not get leaning too far behind the golf ball. That causes a lot of problems. And it's also important to release that club head. Get that club head released, and that's where you're going to gain some extra club head speed. Match that up with body mass, you're going to start to hit it further.
Because are you going to address like the big conversation about stuff, or not yet?
Not yet. I think there is an elephant in the room that I would like to cover at some stage, but perhaps we'll do that in the next one. I think, Joe, and just discuss it. So
just to sort of explain a little bit what we're on about. Okay, so lots of people were saying they wanted a easier, simpler golf swing for senior golfers and other people, but what they were asking us for was more technique. So that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a nice smooth swing, but with the technical element to bolster that foundation.
Absolutely.
Work. Okay,
absolutely.
Yeah. Question. So Mr. Andrews, 1956.
Hello, Mr. Andrews.
Guess his age. Do the maths.
Yes.
Anyway. He's saying, are you saying it's body motion and not arms and wrists, Julian?
It's a combination of both. So we need body motion backwards and forwards, but we also need, there's a natural setting in the wrists in the backswing, and we need to release that at impact. So it's no good holding on to that, and it's no good just moving with the body only, because then there'll be no speed to match that up with the golf club. So it really is a matter of combining both in the backswing, the release at impact, and through to that finish. So yes, it is a combo.
I've got a couple of questions. Jeff Cloak is asking about the 1 and 2 day courses and are they structured differently? The answer to that is yes, absolutely, 100%. We've got, where's your thing?
The matrix.
Yeah.
It's actually up on the wall over there. You can't quite see from there. Yeah, we've designed a new swing matrix.
Yeah, we've got a whole new swing matrix, which basically talks to the proper golfing method, and then you know exactly where you're going and where you come from. So yeah, it analyses your golf swing, Jeff. So that's that. Matt Bird said that was a good question. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Matt. How you doing?
How you doing? And then Andy Wayne said he's had a problem with his shoulder rotator cuff.
Right.
But with your swing, he's staying coordinated and still managing to play, and we've got a competition tomorrow.
Brilliant. Andy, just be mindful as well. So what we don't really want to do is lift those shoulders up. But if you can just let your arms fold in both directions with your shoulders staying down, we shouldn't add any extra tension to those shoulders. So be mindful not to try and lift those shoulders too high in the backswing. Setting your wrist, allowing your arm to fold naturally and relax. So we don't need it to bend in half, but we can have some flex in there. That's going to help take some tension out of those shoulders. So real issue for golfers.
Really good lead in to a question that we just had of Ken.
Yeah.
With his back. And there's a whole different ball game as a senior golfer with what's going on in your brain and your mindset. Okay, so it's really, so this is why we tend to get a bit more emotional as we get older, okay?
Yeah.
So that's where you get more tension, you know, so through your expectations or your mindset, like I used to hit it further, or I was hoping to play that one and I didn't. These are all mindset issues, which as we age, become more prevalent because of the chemical changes in the brain, okay? So that's why we need to understand the mental game more as senior golfers, because things like getting annoyed, you know, feel like you've let yourself down or beating yourself up, they will all lead to more tension, which will lead to more pain, usually in the back area.
Yeah.
Because the other really interesting fact is that we discovered as well is that joint-wise, scientific journals say that 50% of over 50s have got some sort of arthritic element going on in their joints, which is going to, again, is why it's so important to reduce your tension. Number one element of the proper golfing method is swing tension free.
Yeah. Okay,
and it is possible. If you're at 10 out of 10 tension at the moment, it is easy. You can get to 9, you can get to 8, you can get to 7. But it's really important. The mental game, it becomes so much more important as senior golfers because of all those issues that I've just said. So Ken, relax, enjoy yourself. Okay, don't be so competitive. Chill out. Eat some more cakes.
Yeah, most
and then we've got another question from Matt, actually. Does Julian have a favourite golfing method that fits to the senior tour golfer? Do you have a favourite senior tour golfer that fits to the proper golfing method? Good question, Matt.
That's a really good question. You've got to look at Ernie Els, haven't you? You know, the Big Easy. He's the ultimate in what I would call coordination. He sets his wrists beautifully. He definitely releases an impact, and he holds that lovely balanced finish. So Ernie Els, you're not going to go a million miles off looking at him. You've got to also look at the guys called like Fred Couples. You know, he makes the golf swing look easy, but they generally do that when they're moving in a coordinated way, which is something that I believe we all should do. I wish I'd known this stuff when I was just before 40. That's when I got my chronic lower back and left knee issues. Swinging the PJ Tour Player template type swing, and thankfully I saw the light, and literally within 2 weeks of changing my method, I did get rid of my left knee and lower back pain. But I've also studied it a lot and understand what causes these problems.
Okay, can I just share that? So every week I write a mindset piece for our members, and the members have had some good success with one of the ones that I wrote about the question what if.
Yeah.
So many people are brought up with like the what if in the negative, you know, like what if it goes in the trees, what if I go in the bunker, what if this, what if that. And one of our members has he got the best score since?
Yeah, he shot 38, I think. Otto, if you're online, welcome Otto.
And basically what he did was ask, and Barry,
yes,
so what I'm suggesting is, rather than saying what if and the negative, ask yourself what if. So what if it does go over the water? What if it does go over the bunker? You know, what if I can hit a cracking drive?
Yeah.
What if, and then use a positive, because I think it's a really simple way to sort of start understanding how your mindset affects it, because you quite rightly said is that a lot of people, most of us don't really think that it's anything to do with our mind, or we don't need the mindset stuff, but I'm just throwing that out there.
It's huge.
Because imagine if you're really tight, you're going, what if this goes in the water, you're going to tighten up, but what if it goes over the water?
Or goes down the middle, or flies off the first tee. Yeah, it's such a powerful question, and we all know that questions are powerful, aren't we?
Yeah. So I just, Andy says thanks for the advice, Julian, that's cracking.
Cool.
Alexander R says, can we do a Breaking 90s series with me?
Yes. Well, so Joe doesn't really...
I didn't realise he said that. I started reading the question and then realised what he said.
That would make a wonderful video, I'm sure. So I'm sure Alex sent us a message earlier when we were doing a little trial to see if this was working. If what happens if you're under 50? Well, like I said, if I'd have known this stuff when I was 40, I would have definitely changed my method. This works for all golfers. I've tried it. From where I used to hit the golf ball to where I am now, I'm probably slightly longer than I used to be because I didn't know anything about physical tension. It was all brute force, but also I'm probably more accurate, and I'm definitely a lot more chilled on the golf course. I've broke the old golf club, if I'm being honest.
I would like to see your little line. So, you know, like Julian's really busy all the time, and that's what he tells me anyway. So I was busy working, you know how it is, chaps. And there he was, hitting a little line of golf balls on the screen there, weren't you?
I was trying to draw a straight line on the screen, yeah. I've got 21 balls, not too far off, but anyway, that's besides the point. Anyway, right, let's think now about consistency. What can we do to become a little bit more consistent? So the first thing where we have to start is setup. If you're stood too far away from the golf ball, or you're stood too close to the golf ball and you're more upright, you're going to have to make some compensations in the golf swing, and that's going to lead to inconsistency. So first thing, let's just get the right distance from the ball. So standing up nice and tall, arms relaxed on your body, bend forward from your hips till the club hits the floor, just then relax your knees and then nudge to the golf ball. So let's just double check that, arms, hips, knees. That's going to get you the right distance from the golf ball every time. So even if the ball's a bit below your feet or above your feet, if you follow the same method, you'll always be the right distance from the golf ball. That's going to enable your body to move much more efficiently. So get really good at setup. So the next thing for consistency has to be body movement again. Always coming back to this. So making sure that the body's turning right, and your weight transferring, and then critically through impact, you're really turning, fully weight transferring onto your lead foot and finishing in balance. Balance is such an important part of the golf swing, often overlooked, and the finish is always overlooked. So it's one thing having great body movement, that's going to help. We also need nice and simple arm movement. So I don't mind if your lead arm bends, as long as it stays relaxed. Mine looks straight, but believe me, it's long, but it's not straight. So straight for me is when it's locked up tight. Mine's long, but relaxed. But I don't have any issue with your arm bending, because that's going to naturally straighten out on the way back down due to a thing called centrifugal force, which is a wonderful thing, and it's free for us all. So don't worry about that. Just make sure that you're using your wrist correctly. So we're trying not to move it that way or shut the club down. It's a real trend at the moment to close that club face, have a strong club face. The only way to compensate for that through impact, you're going to have a fabulous body movement to keep that club face square. Otherwise, that ball's going miles to the left. So just a very simple wrist movement. Imagine you're just going to throw the club out through my door as it is here. So it sets and releases, as simple as that. So we turn to the side, we'll just set it, back to impact, turn the other side, and let it set in the other direction. So good body motion, good arm motion, great setup. That's going to help with consistency.
Yeah, you are really good at this, aren't you? I know.
I love it.
I
just love it. I love helping people, and we can definitely do that. Have we got any more on there?
Yeah, well, we got Ken that's saying he's struggling with his emotions, and then Jeff Cloak said tension seems to creep in unnoticed. Okay, so I'm just going to give you another free little tip. Just experiment with. Everybody's different, but you know, like when you get intense, you can just use a little mantra: calm, calm, calm. Okay, because that would generally calm your mind, calm your nervous system. You know, I used to have a PA. Well, I used to have a PA. I don't think she was watching, but she was properly rushing around all the time, wasn't she? She was properly rushing, and I used to say to her, when you feel like you're rushing, just repeat the words slow, slow, slow 3 times, and just by
just have that influence on me, doesn't
calm, slow. You know, I'm just throwing these out there. I don't know how how you all operate. But Jeff's saying it creeps in unnoticed. I think the thing is, Jeff, there is that you've actually noticed that it creeps in.
Yeah. So really quick tip for that. As you're setting up, hold the club as tight as you can, just for 2 seconds. 1, 2, and then ease off. So you've got an understanding of what tension physically feels like, and then you can ease off. Great way of reducing not only grip tension, arms, shoulders, back, also mental tension. As Joe keeps saying, calm is a better way than uptight and stressed, isn't it?
And I think that's the key thing about consistency as well. Is if you can get consistency of mind, all the really successful sports people, you know, they're well trained in the mindset, aren't they? But they're all very calm. Like the runners in the Olympics, they were very loose, long and elastic. Your favourite saying, wasn't it?
Absolutely,
you know, they're very relaxed.
Absolutely.
As soon as they put force in there, but. So, what we got here? Steve Adams. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Steve. Good to see you.
Star.
He's been on YouTube. He was under pressure that day, but he did great. Well done.
He said since his last session, he's using different irons to suit the distance, and my issue now is when the ball is laying lower or higher than my feet.
Yeah, so that's when you need to follow this routine again. So imagine the golf ball is above here. I'll just go to these here. So it's still the same thing. Arms, hips, knees, nudge to the golf ball. You'll always be the right distance. If that ball is below your feet, you can do the same. Easy way for me to demonstrate this off a flat lie. If I just shorten my club, so I'll go down it 2 or 3 inches from here. So I'm 6'1". I've got a short golf club now. If I follow the same routine, relax my knees, I'm now the right distance. And now I can hit a shot right down the middle. What a great shot that was.
That was lucky, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know. But even if you've got a short golf club from here, getting that right distance from the golf ball makes such a big difference and enables you to hit shots consistently.
But it also makes you more calm because you know what the process is. You know
exactly
what I think about
there's no guessing,
process.
There's no guessing. I like that, and I like that certainty. When you stood over the golf ball, you know you're correct. You can crack on with the next bit.
Do you know what? I'm going to share with you. We did a 1-day course at the Oxfordshire a couple of weeks ago, and another way that one of the other guys was showing how to get rid of his nerves was when he was putting. Do you remember? And he said, "Right, I know roughly what the putting routine is and the process, but." He says, I allow myself for 4 different outcomes.
Brilliant.
So that takes your nerves away. See, that's the mindset piece. It's like if you're always aiming for the perfect shot or the perfect distance, too much pressure, and generally, sometimes you might get it, but 1 in 4 is a pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good way to look at
when you're outside 7-8 feet, you're not expected to hold it. So close is good enough, isn't it? Take some pressure off you. So let's think now a little bit about the back. What things that we see. So the main culprit that I see and where people get totally out of shape is by keeping your head down and your eye on the back of that ball. So in the golf swing, so we turn to the right. If you keep your head down from here, can you see now how my head is stuck, my body's trying to go this way, but my head is now stopping me turning. Now I've got a real pinch in my lower back. This is exactly what I used to do, and I've got a stretching this side. So we can overstretch here, and we can crush it here, and then we're in this position, and then we go through. So keeping your head down is a real issue for many golfers, and that causes that bad back. I don't really like demonstrating this, Joe, but I am going
because
to.
last time you hurt your back, didn't you? So don't.
You see, I'm kind of here, and then there.
Stay there a minute.
And then that's that left shot. Let me just do that again.
I'm just gently. So from all the research we do, what's happening? Don't say. Is that this area here? It doesn't like shear. So it doesn't. You know, like we did a video recently about shear and muscles. So we did a video on like the X Factor golf swing, and that's why the scientists have said that X Factor golf swing is really bad for your lower back, especially as you age, because it got that shear into the lower end of the spine.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, that's going to hurt.
It just physically hurts when you do that. So it's just such a bad thing. So what should we do? Very simply, let me just get another ball here. Great little practice drill for us all to do. A little 3/4 backswing, and as soon as you strike that golf ball, just look to your target. And now you'll see my body is much more upright. So if I was going this way now, I have a lot of comments saying, look how straight your back is. Now I've got no pressure on it. But if I'm here and arched, that's when we start to get that pinch point right at the bottom. So keeping your head down, really, really bad piece of advice. The next thing, this is critical, and so few people actually understand this. Your lead ankle, your left ankle, if you're a right-handed golfer, you need to allow that to move naturally. Your ankle's nice and mobile, and your knee is a stable joint, your hips are a mobile joint, your lower lumbar spine is a stable joint, your shoulders are mobile, and your neck's stable. So if you allow that mobility in your lead ankle, now I'm not saying for 1 second you have to lift your foot really high, but allow that ankle to move freely, and the whole kinetic chain works perfectly in the backswing. And again, once we've hit it, if we're turning in this direction, we're up on your toe, the whole kinetic chain works correctly, and that will avoid injuries. It's really important that you start to understand that. Keep that left foot still, and you're going to have a bad back in no time at all. So, real problem for a lot of golfers.
Andy Wayne has just referenced Carl Morris, and his DVD about Train Your Brain. And he says it's impossible to become anxious if you learn to breathe properly. Now, that is absolutely true. A lot of people think that's a bit, airy-fairy, whatever. Once you learn to control your breath, you control your parasympathetic nervous system. Yeah. So it literally switches off that stress response. So because we spent so much time in cars and in chairs, basically our lungs get collapsed, so we can't get the right air in. So, one of the guys recently on one of the videos said, he'd taken to yoga and Pilates and stuff like that because it helps with your breathing. So the breath out definitely is what we always advocate,
Hold it.
Breath out will release your tension. But it makes a real difference just learning how to breathe correctly. You
should all look into the science of it.
100%.
Yeah, don't ignore it, whatever you do.
Yeah, we talk about box breathing. It's not our system. It was highly used by the Navy SEALs, which is a breath in for 4 and a hold for 4 and a out for 4. Look it up. It's box breathing, but you do it regularly.
I do, all the time. Yeah. It's a brilliant thing, and I have to say I'm pretty calm.
Yeah, you're always really calm, you are. You probably are really calm.
Yeah,
he is all the time.
So just another 2 things to consider with your back is your core strength. So your core is actually lower down than your six pack. It's a little bit lower down here. So again, do some research on getting back some of that core strength, because that's going to support your lower back. I'm not going to get into what exercises you can do. There's a lot of experts out there who are much better at that than me, but don't overlook that core strength because it will support your back. And one last thing that I love, and it will most definitely help you, is let's shorten that golf swing a little bit.
Yeah.
Have a bit more of a 3/4 swing. If it only gets to here, what's wrong with that? As long as you're moving your body well and you're releasing the club through impact, you'll still hit the ball okay. But when we overstretch sometimes and we overswing, that can start to load the body up with more tension and puts ourselves in awkward positions. Not a great thing for golfers to do. So shorten the golf swing, no issue with that whatsoever. You can still hit the ball good distance.
Do you know, like we always have this conversation, don't we, about why is it that golfers get so obsessed with like technique on telly and stuff like that? I don't think any other sport. I'm trying to look at other sports to see if they do or not.
It's massively overanalyzed, isn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's analysing the people on tour, like the elite golfers, who, by the way, have much more back issues than anybody else. But what we're talking, I mean, we had a guy in the other day. He's 73-year-old retired ambulance man that went for a lesson and was like, this guy comparing him to Rory McIlroy.
I mean, if somebody's comparing you to an elite golfer, I would be very, very wary of that coach and maybe looking in a different direction. We can't be compared to elite golfers. If we're over 50, our bodies don't move anything like. We're not in the gym like those guys.
Well,
we haven't got the physios.
Exactly,
we haven't got the recovery things in place.
Yeah.
We haven't got those ice baths probably, and all the things go with it. Because these guys are elite golfers. They're doing it for a living. They're making a phenomenal amount of money.
Yeah.
But I think at what consequence? You know, there's a lot of golfers getting injured, and I think we're going to see a lot of people with short careers who make a fortune, and then they have to stop playing. I'm not sure I like that idea.
Do you know? I think it was as high as 85% as
elite golfers have issues, health issues, That's a huge percentage, believe me.
It's a bit. I always say it's a bit like Julian is a really good walker, as you'd imagine, up hills. It's a bit like trying to think that you're going to be like Mo Farah or Usain Bolt.
No, imagine that.
You can't run for. I mean, he's brilliant at golf and walking, but running, forget it.
Yeah, I wasn't built for running. So just some things for you all to consider. And you know, here at Proper Golfing, we love doing the one-to-one coaching. We love being able to do it online and in person. Proper Golfing is going from strength to strength. We're getting members from all over the world. In fact, as soon as we finish this, I'm actually going to go onto a Zoom meeting and I'm helping somebody in New Zealand. He's getting up nice and early, but it's wonderful being able to help golfers all over the world.
But we couldn't be more passionate about this, is because when we came off YouTube earlier in the year, we recognised that everybody coming to us was like either in pain, frustrated, gone down the YouTube rabbit hole, and we realised that we were contributing to that, because you get sucked into this mill of like just producing hints and tips and stuff like that. So we came off, you know, my background's in learning and development and helping people achieve their stuff for their mind and body and whatever. You know, that's where we rest, is in that position of taking you on a journey through the proper golfing method. There's 3 elements to it. And that's our passion. We want to help you improve and transform your golf, okay? That's not like, we don't want you to come in for bits and pieces. We want to see you go and progress, and that's why we've got the methodology, we've got the matrix, and that's why we're passionate about the mindset as well, because you've got to learn about your mind and your emotions to play this game really well.
Definitely.
And anybody can do that.
It's the 15th club in your bag, Joe, isn't it, the mindset? And if you've got the right mindset, you can definitely achieve 100%. Some things. Can I just hit another ball now? I'm getting excited.
Honestly, you could, well, just go on then.
Still nice and relaxed as I hit it.
Yeah.
Just letting that body go. So we can still have speed. We can gain speed through being a bit more relaxed. I don't want you to go around just tapping the golf ball. We need some of that speed in there, but there's ways that we can do it that we could easily show you if you came one-to-one. But I think this has been good. I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, well, we could go on and on, couldn't we? I'm just going to reference a few people, because we're not going to have time to cover everybody off, because we know that you've got busy lives and want to get practicing already.
Absolutely.
Julian is saying, is this why I've got early extension by not turning correctly?
Yes.
Quick answers, Andy's saying he uses the breathing in every walk of life. Jeff Cloak is swinging a rope or a knotted towel a good indoor exercise in winter.
Awesome.
100%.
Awesome.
As long as you're not chasing your wife around the living room.
Yeah. No, swing the towel. In fact, let me
He's
just
got
go
one here.
I've got a towel here. I haven't got a long one. This is, what's this? Just over a driver's length, I would say. I've had to piece it together with some tape. Make sure you put some tape around it. This helps with rhythm, coordination, release. So we turn. You see how I'm just having to delay the start of that swing. So if we start with that shoulder, then we're swinging into our body, then we've got to get out of the way, which is often that early extension that everybody talks about. But that is really a result of not starting the downswing correctly. But this is a wonderful training aid. A lot of the long distance golfers use this, those long hitters, 'cause it really helps with their rhythm, with coordination, balance as well, super important part of it. So brilliant training.
Jeff was the one asking about that. Was Jeff instrumental in making that?
No, he wasn't. No.
He has had a go with that though.
I may have done. I'm not 100% sure.
So Jeff, you've had a go with that.
I like the swing caddy. I like the hole-in-one trainer. But sometimes having something really flexible makes you appreciate quality movement. So if you can make a swing that looks pretty decent with this, your body and arms will be moving really well. So yeah, get yourself a towel. Awesome.
Yeah. One last comment from Andy Wayne again. Thank you very much for this event. Oh, we said I've moved on. Thank you very much for this event. I can hear your passion, which is a welcome change from the normal golf pros. And he's saying because of his shoulder injury, he's adopted the 3/4 swing method.
Brilliant.
And honestly, hits it more consistently and further too. Yeah, we absolutely flipping love it. We're saying hi to Massachusetts as well.
Oh, cool.
So we are in Royal Leamington Spa. We've just refreshed the website with some beautiful pictures of Warwick. That's literally 5 minutes away, isn't it? So just letting you know that's where we are. If you want to Google Royal Leamington Spa, just so you know where we are. Should you be passing London, it's 20 minutes. You know, it's.
And we've got a castle.
Oh, castles! Several castles.
If you like castles, come and have a look.
Yeah, and I'm more than happy to show you around as well because I like being a tour guide. But anyway,
yeah, brilliant.
Thank you very much for your contribution, everyone. We're hoping to do a few more of these, aren't we?
Most definitely, yeah. So if you've got any suggestions, any topics that you'd like us to cover, either drop a comment in there or send us an email. We'll definitely look at those, and you know, if we know it has value to people, we'll definitely cover it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So it's now 7:35 in the UK. You've got your coaching. I'm going to go and walk the dog. So thank you all for joining in. Anyway, I'll see you again next time.
Yeah, brilliant. Look after yourselves, guys.
Thank
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.